Anyway, a few weeks ago, Grand Theft Auto Vice City celebrated its 20th anniversary, and it got me thinking about how we're now nostalgic for a game that was itself rooted in nostalgia. Way before a bunch of footage leaked, fans were speculating that Grand Theft Auto 6 would return to Vice City because, after all, you cannot spell Vice without the Roman numeral 6, and the logo basically designs itself, so it would be just a huge, huge waste of an obvious name for a game. And sure enough, the next game is going to take us back to Rockstar's fictionalized version of Miami. Now, here's something that will make you feel horrible and old. More time has passed between right now and Vice City's original release than between Vice City's original release and when it takes place, which is 1986. Now, back in 2002, 1986 seemed like ancient history, and some of that is because when you're 16 years old, it feels like a lifetime because it was your lifetime, but also because the 1980s have this wonderful sort of iconic, brilliant aesthetic that really sets it apart from kind of other eras. Like you can see, just a soundbite of music, or like a glimpse of, a Don Johnson blazer, or just even the color palette screams Vice City, and all that stuff kind of came together to create this amazing stylized version of a particular point in time. And I think a lot of people kind of conflate their love of Vice City with their love of that entire sort of aesthetic and theme. Obviously, it's a damn good video game, but the style did some very heavy lifting for its substance. Now, what we currently know about GTA 6 is based on early footage of an unfinished game without any context from its creators, and that is pretty much the worst possible way for something creative to be unveiled. That's like sneaking into a restaurant's kitchen after hours and eating a bunch of raw ingredients out of the fridge like a raccoon. It's not the same thing as trying the chef's tasting menu, so don't do that because you'll get probably 2 to 3 stars immediately. In due time, we're probably going to get an awesome trailer from Rockstar that has like an amazing soundtrack, and it's going to tell us like what and who and where GTA 6 is focused on. But what we've seen basically just suggests that it's set in present day, and on some level, I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not getting a modern take on Vice City's original 1980s time period. Like, just like how if you go to real life Miami in 2022, it's not going to be like Miami Vice or Scarface, and a new GTA that's set in contemporary Vice City probably isn't going to have the same vibe as GTA Vice City, and that's okay. But, a lot of, GTA fans, myself included, have rose-tinted glasses for a 20-year-old game that itself had some pastel-tinted shades on for the 1980s itself. So maybe we should just try to look at the next installment through, another lens. Obviously, GTA 6 is going to improve on Vice City, the original game, in a million different ways, but obviously it's going to draw comparisons to earlier games because that's what happens anytime. And somewhere, somebody's going to go, it's just not the same. And that's true, but it's something that we should celebrate because trying new things is great. At least that's what I keep telling myself, even though I really just want to play a next-gen video game that's inspired by a bunch of 40-year-old movies. Anyway, the more immediate concern about GTA 6, obviously, is how it will ever top the ridiculously high bar that was set by GTA 5, and I guess it can start by actually getting officially announced. Rockstar, your move. Anyway, I've said my piece.
All right, party on. I think you nailed that, Max.
Thank you.
That was wonderfully delivered.
You.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm working on I don't know. Somebody was like, dude, write a thing for the show. And I was like, okay, I'll write a thing in the show. So
you write words masterfully.
Thank you. What do you think? GTA 6?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the biggest GTA fan. I've said that on the show. I think it would be cool to go back to Vice City. Like that, I guess it's our age range though. Mm-hmm. I think maybe the younger audience may not care as much.
I'm curious about that. Yeah.
Like let's actually have that in the comments. Like if you are, if you didn't experience the 80s in any way, shape, or form.
But I experienced it on PS2. Yeah.
But we experienced it through our parents. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the 80s were very much well and alive in our parents' memories. And so like I got a little bit of that 80s flavor growing up. If you didn't get that from your parents because your parents were born in the 90s, I don't know, that's weird. Or the 2000s, because actually that could be a point. Let us know if you're excited, if you'd be more excited for GTA to go to Vice City or like set in the 80s or if set in more like modern time. Let us know what you'd prefer.
Josh, what do you think?
I mean, I don't care about Miami. That's me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't feel particularly drawn to playing.
But Josh, there are so many songs about Miami.
I don't care. I don't care about Miami. I don't feel drawn to a sandbox like adventure game and set in Miami, especially in the modern time. Like I'm trying to like feel the distinction, I guess, between GTA 5 set in a Los Angeles type place and a modern Miami set place, and I'm like, I don't know if there's going to be a distinct difference. Like, there's a difference between GTA 5 and GTA like 4, even though they're both technically like modern day. There's still this different flavor. But like, imagining like GTA 6 set in Vice City is like, I don't know, like it just feels like GTA 5, honestly.
I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but obviously,
Right.
it is that weird. Like GTA Vice City came out like a year after GTA 3, and in a lot of ways, it has like very similar mechanics and like kind of a beautiful, neon turquoise and magenta coat of paint, and like a killer soundtrack, which obviously like was a lot of people's first exposure to 80s music. But Cardi, what's your read on Vice City versus GTA 6?
Vice City. Don't get me wrong, brilliant game, but San Andreas was always the one to me growing up that I like. If they went back to that, which they kind of did anyway with 5, like I was happy with what they did then. I know that San Andreas wasn't really set in a time period like you were saying, in the past, so to speak. But yeah, I don't think it would ruin Vice City for me just because I don't have that personal connection to it. I quite like the modern day GTAs. Like, I think GTA 4's story is probably their best story of them all, and 5 is the best best GTA game they've made. I just have no real, despite departures from that studio, I have no real reason to doubt Rockstar whatsoever. Red Dead 2 is my favorite game of all time. Like, that is like,
Yeah,
like, just put me in that game forever and I will ride around. But like, yeah, I just have no reason to doubt them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious because like one of the big things that San Andreas did to improve on Vice City was to add more topography. Like that's what Mount Chiliad was. They kind of were looking at the layout and they were like, we need to, and like if you read into the research they did to really kind of flesh out San Andreas and add like a bunch of variety to the locations, like that was something they've kind of already revisited with 5. So again, both San Andreas and 5 kind of set a high bar for going back to Liberty and Vice Cities respectively. So I don't know. I'm stoked either way.